We meet again at last. The circle is now complete.
What's the world coming to?
Well, you got a problem with what I did, Anthony?
Oh, no. Hey, no.
Fucking rat anyways. Whole family's all rats. Would have grew up to be a rat.
Stupid bastard. I can't fucking believe it.
Gee, I'm real sorry your mom blew up, Ricky.
Now you're gonna dig the fucking thing. You're gonna dig the hole. You're gonna do it. I got no fucking line. You're gonna do it.
Fuck yes, I'll take the fucking hole. I don't give a fuck.
I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was pure and simple evil.
Jesus Christ. Mister, you okay in there?
Let's eventually coffee's around here someplace.
Have you any idea what the cost of your actions is? What their effect might be? Or you to give them hope? What do you give them? We give them happiness. And they give us authority.
Groovy.
Hello, friends. It's episode 54 of the Cinephellas Podcast. I'm here with my mate, Logan Myerz. I'm Henry Hill. How are you, Logan?
Good morning, lads. I'm right out of here. The back pasture having a few points after working on some acting skills this morning. After me and the boys headed to the pub. Great to be here on the Cinephellas Podcast, boys.
You English boys sure do sound wild.
Oi!
Good to talk to you as always. We both have seen The Irishman. So what are your initial thoughts on that? I know you've reviewed it already.
Yeah, I just posted my review last night on our YouTube channel. Funny story, I had it shot Sunday. It was about 25 minutes long, and then I went back to edit the video. There's no audio, so I had to redo the whole freaking thing. But I absolutely loved it, man. It's my favorite movie of the year for sure. It surpassed Avengers Endgame. It's a perfect movie, in my opinion, in so many ways. Great seeing all these guys acting together, Scorsese directing, just a magnum opus. It's my favorite one, and it's just a perfect movie across the board.
Wow, man, high praise, and I have to agree with you, man. I loved it, of course. I knew I was, pretty much. I knew Scorsese wasn't gonna fuck this one up, and like you said, man, seeing all these older, actors that have been in Scorsese movies in the past just come together again, seeing Pesci and De Niro older and playing different roles this time. It was like really awesome. Especially I thought Joe Pesci playing like the more silent guy this time was like just, you could really see his acting come through, his brilliant performance. Usually he's flying off the handle, and this one is the complete opposite. And to come off the bench, cold, he hasn't been in any movies for who knows how long. And he comes in and into the movie after having to be begged to join the production by Bobby De Niro, and he comes and kills it. Yeah, literally, he kills it. It's what it is. And then you have Pacino finally in a Scorsese movie as Jimmy Hoffa, and he just kills it. Like, he's masterful. So many scenes in there where, he's going to be nominated for an Oscar for sure. The scene with our mate Stephen Graham as Tony Pro when they go down to Florida, I believe, and they're meeting him. He comes in and he's wearing like shorts and like a flashy shirt. And Pacino, Jimmy Hoffa, he's, insulted because not only is he late by 15 minutes to a meeting, but he's wearing some fucking stupid, like fucking swim gear, basically, beachwear. And while, him and Frank are there in their suits, so. And then there's a couple funny scenes between them. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. In the jail scene where Hoffa and Tony Pro get into it when they're like eating lunch. I think Pacino's Hoffa is eating a sundae, and then Stephen Graham and them have an altercation. It's funny, and Stephen Graham punches him in the face. The movie's so it's you hate to throw around the word epic, but it really feels like that. Just in the scope of it, how many decades it covers. And the actors have to change from decade to decade, depending on what part of the movie it is. So it's just awesome to see their progression, and really awesome to see De Niro come back with a role like this, because we haven't seen him do anything this good in so long. So just for that alone, it's well worth every minute of time you watch it on Netflix. I wish I would have been able to see it on the big screen. That would have made it even better.
Yeah, me too. That was one thing I was kind of bummed about because it was such an epic movie from start to finish, and it was playing nowhere around here. But you know, we had to watch that on Netflix around Thanksgiving, and like it was totally worth it. Totally worth the 10-year wait. You know, it took them to make this film. Totally worth the wait, and just the best movie of the year in my opinion. I loved like all the things you're talking about. Pesci playing a complete opposite character in this movie. He's more calm and collect, you know, compared to Casino Goodfellas, where he's just a hothead and kills anybody who gets in his way. De Niro, one of the best performances in a long time, from him, at least 10 years. And then Al Pacino, hoo-ah, hoo-ah, son of a woman, hoo-ah. Him playing, Jimmy Hoffa. Again, another great standout performance in the film, and it was like the perfect role for him because Jimmy Hoffa was kind of in the limelight. He was famous in front of the people all the time, and it's a perfect role for Pacino because it's pretty much how he is.
Definitely. Yeah, it feels good to have another Pacino movie out there just to like remind you how good he is. Like, of course, playing Michael Corleone from the Godfather movies, Scarface, Son of a Woman, Carlito's Way. He's had some awesome roles.
Heat, the movie Heat.
Oh yeah, duh, Heat, of course, yeah. Where him and De Niro started together. Yeah, that was great. He played a cop in that one, chasing De Niro's character. Yeah, I know. How did I forget about Heat? But yeah. Dude, there's so many movies now, it's hard to keep track. I was trying to think of all of Marty's movies, and I'm like, fuck, I wasn't even thinking about Departed at all. Like, I consider like Goodfellas, Casino, and Irishman to be the trilogy. But, Departed was Mob and Mean Streets, of course. And then just like looking at his catalog of everything he's directed, it's just really awesome. And it's cool how him and Leo are like the modern day, it's like that modern day collaboration where it was back in the day, it was him and De Niro. Now it's him and Leo. And news broke today that they're probably going to be shooting the Killers of the Flower Moon in the springtime
next
sometime.
Year.
Next year in the spring. So hopefully they get to work on that and figure out, the tone of the movie. From the story, it sounds pretty cool. It sounds like we'll get another awesome movie. And De Niro is supposed to join Leo in this one. So that'll be awesome to see them work together at this point in their careers. I know they've done a couple other movies together, but a long time ago.
What movie was that? Was that A Beautiful Boy?
I always want to say About a Boy, but for some reason, so don't quote me. I don't know.
Again, The Irishman, my favorite film of the year, start to finish. 3.5 hours long. It doesn't feel like it's 3.5 hours long. It goes by super quick. You become invested with these characters. The de-aging technology looks absolutely beautiful in this movie. It looks so real.
The beginning sequence, at first you're trying to get used to it. And I think it's more profound in the beginning scene the beginning scenes where Frank Sheeran is younger, obviously, and he's in the war. That's when it looks the most obvious, just because they had to de-age him so much. But as the film goes on, I thought it just kept getting better. You know what I mean? Like they did a good job of not making it glaringly obvious. Pacino's really old, and they really de-aged him pretty well. And I noticed it maybe in one or two scenes, but I mean, honestly, you don't even think about it after the initial he's playing a younger guy. You kind of just let the story take you in, and you don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah, you're right though. Like in the beginning where De Niro's in the war, so they basically had to de-age him 40, 50 years. So it's not going to look 100% spot on, but it looks really good. And as the movie progresses, obviously it looks less recognizable, I guess.
We had a lot of Boardwalk Empire stars. We saw Richard. We saw Jack Houston in the movie. We saw Stephen Graham. Of course, he played Al Capone back in Boardwalk Empire. Bobby Cannavale's in it.
There you go.
From Boardwalk Empire. We've got Dominic Lombardozzi playing that older gentleman, which was really cool. I thought he did a great job. I can't remember his name, but he plays that older guy that's always smoking the cigar. And then we saw a lot of Sopranos actors. We saw Eugene, the guy that hung himself in his garage. Remember, he was trying to get out of the mafia. It wasn't going to happen. So, hung himself. Yep. That actor's in it. He's also in Mob City, that one I just watched, and then I'm interviewing the director on Thursday. So that's cool. Syl was the singer there in the scene where it's like the Frank Sheeran appreciation night or whatever. That was Syl. Not using his real voice, of course, but He was there dancing on stage.
Oh, right. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I didn't. I kind of was looking at him. I was like, "Is that Phil?" But I wasn't sure, and then I looked in the credits. Sure enough.
Wow, there's like a ton of people in this one. I didn't even like realize like all the like supporting cast, just like people with small parts in the movie. It's just all the people from Boardwalk and other movies and TV shows Scorsese's been a part of.
The other cameo, well, not really cameo, but the Goodfellas actress that was in there, the babysitter from Goodfellas was Jimmy Hoffa's wife in the film. I think her name was Jo. Yeah, that was the babysitter from Goodfellas. I noticed it at first. I was like, wait, is that? I'm pretty sure that's the girl from Goodfellas. And then I looked it up after the movie. Sure enough, it was. So.
Wow, you're really good at that. All like the organized crime mob movies, and there's noticed actors.
Yeah, I analyze them. They're almost like I feel like I'm going to school somehow. Try to catch stuff that I don't see the first time, which is why I'm going to definitely watch The Irishman probably 10 more times.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm with you. I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah, the ending was cool too. It's like a different ending that you usually get from him. Like more somber and retrospective. You kind of feel for him because they gave Hoffa a chance to close his mouth, and he didn't want to do it. He thought he was untouchable. So it's just kind of crazy to see Frank there, all old, thinking about what happened and how that used to be his friend, and his daughter's not talking to him anymore.
And it was really sad. I was pulling at all the emotions for me. Like, usually, like in a Scorsese flick, you don't really feel that, but this movie, it really pulls on a lot of different emotions. You feel for De Niro, what he's gone through, him, getting older, going to pass away, has nobody anymore. His daughters disowned him, has no family, all his friends are dead. Like, it was really sad and depressing at the end, but a really great ending to the film. How many hair pieces would you give The Irishman?
The Irishman is going to get a 5 out of 5 hair pieces from me. I'd say nearly flawless. Not as good as Goodfellas, but definitely up there along those movies.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a perfect movie. The best of the year.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's definitely my favorite. I'd say between The Irishman and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are my two favorites of the year. Today we got some posters released for the new James Bond film, Daniel Craig's final one, No Time to Die. So we got a good look at the characters. It shows Bond. He's not wearing his traditional tuxedo, but he's wearing almost like a sweater. They're all wearing a similar color scheme, like a dark navy blue kind of color. And we get our first look at Rami Malek's villain, Safin, I think his name is, in one of the posters. And from the trailer that was shown, it looks like he wears some sort of mask. We get that one last shot from the teaser that was released of it shows a door with a window there, and then you see his reflection coming up to the window, and it looks like he has a mask on. So I'm assuming that's Rami Malek's character. Might be wearing a villain-worthy mask, which would fit in with the Bond films. All the villains are always over the top and always have like a visible scar or something wrong with them or something, crazy to identify them.
Yeah, I'm looking at the posters now. They look pretty awesome, actually. You sparked my interest in Bond after watching Daniel Craig and Knives Out. I'm like, you know what? I'll give him a chance. So I'm gonna go.
I promise you, dude. Start with Casino Royale. You'll love it, dude. It's got Mads Mikkelsen, Hannibal. You'll dig it. You'll get into it. I promise.
Yeah, I was looking. I think there's 4 or 5, right? So I'm gonna start going them and give them a chance and see if I like them.
Like Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, the second one is probably the weakest out of those. But then Skyfall, that's one of the best Bond movies throughout the whole series. Really, it's awesome. It's basically like Batman Begins, kind of like how Bond starts, and you see all these characters like that Ben Whishaw character. He plays Q, the gadget maker for him and everything. So it's like all these characters meeting up for the first time, and it's got an awesome villain and an awesome backstory. Daniel Craig does all his own stunts, dude, and he's believable. It's not like Pierce Brosnan back in the day, just some handsome dude that looks like a dad, basically. No, Daniel Craig's fucking jacked, and he does all his own stunts. He rides every sort of vehicle, drives cars, can shoot guns, can fucking fuck people up hand to hand. Yeah, I can't wait, man. This new one looks good, and it's made by the dude that did True Detective season 1. Did of course, that great 5th episode, I believe, with the tracking shot. So I'm definitely interested.
That's one. Yeah, you're mentioning Skyfall. I was thinking Shawn Mendes directed that. He's directing the new 1917. That looks awesome. This would be fantastic.
Sam Mendes.
Is it Shawn or Sam Mendes?
I think Shawn Mendes is a singer. Sam Mendes is the director. He did like American Beauty. Sam Mendes, yeah. Brooke's been looking at TMZ. Well, some of them have a little story that carries on, but you could just go in and not really know anything. Cool. It's a different story for each one. The Bourne movies, they kind of did a ton of those, but these Bond movies are different.
Also today they dropped the brand new teaser poster and trailer for Black Widow. Theaters.
Yeah, they dropped that. They dropped that overnight, and I posted it to our page. I was pretty surprised. I didn't even know that a trailer was coming. So yeah, they released the first footage from that, and it shows Florence Pugh and David Harbour's new characters in the film. I'm sure anything about the plot or anything. This is the first I'm seeing. Looks decent. I'm not too excited. After Avengers, I'm kind of like, everybody blew their load on it. Go back into that world after that extravaganza. So, what do you think?
Yeah,
looks pretty good from the footage, though.
Yeah, this trailer looks pretty awesome. You kind of get an overall feel and tone they're going for. Like you said, David Harbour, Florence Pugh. Rachel Weisz is in it as well. I love her. She's a great actress. Florence Pugh's blowing up. She's in like everything now. Midsummer, she's in the new Little Women. She's in another movie earlier this year, so her career is definitely blowing up. She plays Natasha's sister, and honestly, I don't know too much of the premise. Looks like a lot of action. This takes place before Endgame and most of the Avenger films. So this is like a standalone film that happened back in the day, which we know the outcome of her character, see in Endgame. But, for the most part, the trailer looks cool and a lot of great actors in this movie. Coming out May 1st. Woo-hoo!
A lot of fake Russian accent. He walks over, it's Creed 4.
He's like, actually, I'm from Brooklyn.
Right. No shit.
I like the poster for Black Widow as well. That's pretty sweet. But
has a big red X in it.
Yeah, this is the start of the new phase, too, so it's going to be the first film over the next, 4 years. So, looks pretty solid.
Here we go, boys. Marvel's about to start up again, the machine. What's it going to lead to this time? There's going to be a lot of different stories and different characters in this next phase. So that's pretty exciting. We'll be getting some new adventures. We'll still see a few familiar faces from, movies that will wrap up their trilogies. Guardians of the Galaxy, of course. And a lot of TV shows coming. I can't wait till some of those hit Disney Plus and we get more Marvel content released on Disney Plus. Because right now it has quite a bit, but it doesn't have all of them. And they're going to slowly start rolling out more of those shows like Loki, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier?
I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, so all those will be good. And, of course, those TV shows are supposed to be incorporated within the films that are coming out for this phase too. So it won't be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where, they had some references from the movies, but it didn't really have anything to do with it. These shows are going to go into the movies, so their stories matter within the movie cinematic universe. So that's pretty cool.
Definitely more Avengers coming our way. Marvel Cinematic Universe expanding in the next phase. Some more money to be made at the box office. It's going to be a good time. But I'm actually pretty excited about this because I like Black Widow's character and all the characters they're introducing. So I will be there when it's released. Yeah, well, lately we've been talking about, the Mandalorian. That comes out every Friday. Talking about each episode. The newest one was just released last week after Thanksgiving. What'd you think about that episode?
I like the episode. All I can think about, though, which is not a bad thing, is the Baby Yoda sipping the tea during that gun battle. Like there's all this chaos going around. He's just sipping tea, not even fazed by anything. Yeah, another good solid episode. We saw him. We got some info onto, we've never seen this character take off his helmet. So we didn't really know, the rules there, why he can't take it off or why he hasn't yet. So we got some backstory. Basically, he was, as a child, the Mandalorians took him in and like raised him as one of their own, and he kind of took on their traditions and, you know, vowed to always honor that. And he, you know, part of the rules for being a Mandalorian is you can't take off your mask in front of other people. So we see Mandalorian eating in the film, and we see him like take off his helmet and set it down on the thing. It doesn't show his face or anything. Of course, we got introduced to a new character. I think her name is Cara, played by Gina Carano. She used to be an MMA fighter back in the day. Of course, you know, I've always watched MMA, so I remember when she was fighting, and yeah, she was really good. And she's been in a couple films. Haywire was her first one, which was, you know, it just highlighted her fighting skills basically. But I thought she did a pretty good job as like the mercenary type character. It's going to be like, you know, teaming up with the Mandalorian. We'll see where it goes from here. What else did I not mention about the episode?
My favorite part of the entire episode was at the end. They're seeing these footprints in this little village, and they find out it's the Imperial AT-ST walker, as we remember from the original film.
Yeah.
The massive AT-ST, and starts fucking shooting at him. That was so awesome.
Yeah,
like
that was cool.
CGI. Like, it looked like it was practical effects the way they did it, but maybe CGI. I don't know, but it just looked awesome. Straight up battle. It was like
very well done. Yeah, I agree.
Because I saw the footprint. We were watching the episode. I'm like, the footprint. I'm like, holy shit, is that from the AT-ST walkers? And I'm like, yep, it sure is. So like, comes out of the trees with the red eyes. It looked like really demonic looking and fierce. I'm like, uh-oh, they're going to start opening fire on the Mandalorian and all these people. Definitely my favorite part of the episode.
When does the next one come out? Is it Friday or is it Monday? I'm kind of confused by the schedule because some of them, it's kind of been staggered.
I don't know. Usually they come out on Fridays.
And there's only a couple left, I think. What is there? How many episodes this season? There can't be that many more.
I think there's 8 maybe. There were 4 episodes in. There's 4 left.
Right. So yeah, we're about halfway. That makes sense. I think it's going in a good pace. I mean, obviously you get greedy, you kind of want to see more right away, but it's nice to follow a show and have to wait week to week, and I kind of prefer that in some ways. With certain shows especially, it's just nice to be able to tune in and have that week to watch it and not feel like you need to rush and watch it before everybody else. You know, you can do it on your own time. And the length is pretty good. I think the 30-minute length works for each individual story. And I think all the directors that have directed so far have, you know, done different things, but have kept kept things tight, and seems like it's cohesive, and we'll be learning more about the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, and I think Bill Burr, the comedian, is going to be in episode 6, so he'll be in an episode. That'll be cool. I always like cameos.
He's a great comedian. That'll be fantastic. I'm sure they'll have more actors that show up along the way, and other characters that we're familiar with. But it's definitely a really great journey of this adventure with the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Merchandising for Baby Yoda is being released. You know, holiday season. You know, they're gonna put out as much merchandise and make as much money as they possibly can, because kids are going to eat that up. I'm like, I need a Baby Yoda toy. And I'm like, I need one too.
Right. The mom and dad will get their own and then buy their kid like a separate one.
Oh, honey, put it in the bedroom.
Oh. Baby Yoda is just in there, like, when he's flying with the Mandalorian, he's just, like, pushing buttons all over the dash and shit. That's funny.
Yeah, just fucking shit up. And I saw, like, it was like a video they made, and they like put rap music in it, like you said in the button.
The character's been like widely accepted, like everybody likes it. Like I haven't heard anybody shit on it yet.
Everybody knows Baby Yoda now from like all the memes and just a cute little character. Like you said, universal. Everybody knows about it, even if you don't watch the show. And we were talking about the Mandalorian at Thanksgiving when we were having our food. Everybody at the table was talking about how much they love the show. Like Molly loves it. Chris Walker's wife loves it. You know, people that really aren't fans of Star Wars, they are really having a great time with it. So that's saying something.
That is, yeah. It's appealing to a wider audience than just people that have watched these movies, you know. So, yeah, that's definitely a sign of a quality show if it can pull non-fans in, too. Rise of Skywalker is only a couple weeks away.
Yep, we got the brand new, the final installment of the Skywalker saga hitting theaters, hitting cinemas near you in a few weeks, I think on the 20th. We're going that Thursday night to see it. And
hell yeah.
Really looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm going to be reviewing it. It's supposed to be pretty solid.
Yeah, dude. I can't wait for that, like, final duel between Rey and Kylo looks awesome. Looks all cool out in the ocean or wherever it is on the old, destroyed battleship, whatever those are called. I can't remember.
Death Star is deteriorated away in like the ocean. Looks awesome.
Right. To find out if they're like brother or sister, or if they're are they related? Yeah. Are they related? Who is Rey's parents? I don't know.
Hopefully they actually answer that for once. Like, who the fuck are they?
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Is she a Skywalker? I don't know how they're gonna do that and like not piss off a bunch of people.
In other movie news, posted yesterday, Jason Reitman's talking about the brand new Ghostbusters 2020 movie is officially titled Ghostbusters Afterlife. And the film's heading our way next summer, starring Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Carrie Coon, and Paul Rudd. The filming is officially wrapped, and we're going to have the first, probably teaser trailer hitting the interwebs later this week. So I'm really stoked about that. Title the movie a lot, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think it's going to be a really great film, but trailer coming out this week. What do you think about that, Henry?
I'm really stoked for that, and we know now that all the Ghostbusters are back, including Bill Murray. I'm interested to see what Jason Reitman has come up with. He's got a lot of expectations, especially after the last one directed by Paul Feig didn't do that well, and there's a lot of hate for it. It had the original Ghostbusters and like little cameos, but it just didn't feel like the first two. And where this one, hopefully we're going to see within the trailer, if it's going to feel like, Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters 2. It's in a new time now. It's going to be interesting to see how these younger characters are involved in the story, and to see, Paul Rudd's a big star, to see like what his role is going to be, whether he's like maybe he'll be like one of the next generation of Ghostbusters, or, it's pretty interesting to see.
The family will be taking over as the Ghostbusters, kind of the older guys passing on the torch, and then maybe Paul Rudd's character being one of the new Ghostbusters. That's my prediction, but I obviously had no idea. But I think that would be pretty cool if they did that, have younger kids taking over the role.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. I said Knives Out. Should I go see it at the theater if I can this week?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so in terms of movies, I just saw Knives Out, Rian Johnson's new murder mystery with the all-star cast and ensemble. Too many names. But, Daniel Craig is a standout performance in the film, playing this private investigator trying to investigate this murder. Within this family, we have Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, a bunch of people. Throughout the film, yeah, it's really great. There's a lot of twists and turns of them unraveling more clues as to what happened to Christopher Plummer's character. He was the father of this family that they think committed suicide, but it's actually murder. And throughout the film, there's a bunch of really cool twists. And Daniel Craig was amazing in this film. He had this really cool Louisiana accent. I suspect there was foul play. But yeah, he's really great in the movie, and the ending's really fantastic. I didn't guess what would happen. I didn't predict. It was just a really great story, really great cast of people, really great murder mystery. Reminded me much of Clue back in the 80s.
I'm definitely interested in seeing that film. I will try to go see it this weekend. And yeah, like you said, Daniel Craig has been getting a lot of praise for this role, so I can't wait to see his performance in this. The last film that he was in that he was awesome in was Logan Lucky. And of course he's Bond, so he's really great. He's very solid. And do you think this character that he's playing in Knives Out is just going to lead to other movies? Because I've read that in a couple other places where they think he could get his own kind of series as that character.
Oh, for sure, that would be awesome. I didn't read anything about that, but yeah, I think he can really continue to play that character into other stories, other movies, and things like that. The character's that is really interesting and funny and witty, and a lot of great things in this movie, and I could see him leading this into other chapters for sure, trying to figure out these murders, and I think it would be really great. Knives Out, yep, one of my favorites of the year. Definitely go check that out at the theater in Jacksonville. Well worth the admission. Some surprising news I posted the other night on our social media pages. from the official Avatar Twitter page, basically saying the sequel has wrapped. It's been 10 years? It took them to make a sequel to the first Avatar.
Which sequel? Is it 2, 3, 4, or 5?
Yeah, it's Avatar 2. Finally.
Okay.
They celebrated with a kind of behind-the-scenes look at the new set entitled The Sea Dragon. They just posted on their Twitter page. I just thought it was kind of funny. It's like, finally, we get a sequel? We've been talking about this since the first one.
It's not even going to be out until 2022.
2021, yeah. It was supposed to be out next year, but now it's 2021. My God. It must be a beautiful movie that takes this long to fucking put out. 12 years.
He's like Axl Rose. Like, what the hell? And then he's got 3, 4, 5 that he's filming too. It's like, damn, that's ambitious.
Expect those to be hitting cinemas 2045. It's been that long. I don't even remember what happened in the first Avatar movie. I remember that guy in the wheelchair, and obviously the Avatars. That guy JD from Grandma's Boy.
Sit on my face.
So it's kind of surprising news. They're like, finally, a picture from Avatar 2. Today we're going to be putting out a video for our next Fellas Giveaway digital code for It Chapter 2. I'll be posting that video later today on our YouTube channel. But basically, in the giveaway, we want you to answer the question, what's your favorite movie in 2019? Henry and I already talked about our favorite flick of the year, The Irishman. So for the next giveaway, we want to hear from you guys. We'll be giving that away on December 12th, next Thursday.
So for our next podcast, we are going to do something a little different. We are taking questions from you guys. So you guys can ask us anything, how we started, blah, blah, whatever you want to know. If there's any movies you wanted to, discuss with us or ask us a question, anything you guys want, please send in some questions for us. And next week on the podcast, me and Logan will be answering your questions. So you'll find out a lot of juicy details, I'm sure.
Yep, and then also next Tuesday when we shoot that, we're going to have Niall Fortner, Cinephellas writer on the podcast, talking too. So if you guys have any questions for him or any of us, submit those. Email us, cinefellas@gmail.com, or you can reach out to us on our social media pages, YouTube, whatever.
All right, so that is it for episode 54 of the Cinephellas Podcast. We want to thank all you guys for listening to our podcast every week. Don't forget, next week we're going to do a little Q&A, so please do send in your questions to cinefellas@gmail.com, or you can reach out to us the same way through our social media networks. And, I've had a good time talking with you, Logan, today about The Irishman and other topics. And I look forward to our Q&A next week. That's going to be fun.
Dude, I'm so excited. It was a great time talking to you today, my friend. Talked about a lot of great content movies. Looking forward to next week where people get to ask us some questions. Should be pretty saucy. Oh! Love you,
Ooh.
boys.
There's not going to be any skeletons left in our closets, boys.
True. All the dirt comes out next week. So ask some pretty raunchy and serious questions. We'll answer them for you.
There are no bad questions. We'll answer anything.
Looking forward to all those wild rascals out there and all the juicy questions they're going to be asking the Cinefellas boys.
All right, guys. Until next time, we're the Cinefellas. Cheers!
This podcast has been sponsored by Big Ray's Automotive and Barbecue Emporium. There for all your meat, sweats, and needs.
Love you, boys.